Hello YouTube, this is episode 2 of Pathfinder Kingmaker, picking up right where we left off. And collected loot. I do love me some loot. When you leave a location, you can review uncollected loot from defeated enemies and decide if you want to take it or leave it behind. It only counts for enemies, not like little vases you might not have checked. And we'll take that one tower shield so that we can give it to our dwarf. Ruling a kingdom is a serious task. Make sure you visit your capital at least once each month. One would hope that the king would at least stop by once a month. Otherwise, you're less of a king and more of a... I guess owner would be the proper term there. Alright, so we got this frost giant locked into a giant barrier, but the frost giant really isn't someone we want to help right now. And a ton of assassins and rift channelers. I guess we're on cleanup duty with the scrubs. Yeah, let's get up to full health. How do I actually use this? Let's see, move you just into spell range, you, same thing, you. Acid splash, daze, inflict light wounds, divine favor. Yeah, divine favor sounds good. And you, I just picked up that tower shield for you, but it looks like don't have specialty tower shields, so you can't equip it. True strike is cool. Fix the next attack roll. Let's see. True Strike is personal range. I was trying to cast it on Auric there. I mean Titus. Alright. Let's start this up. You, back off. You. Back off a little bit too. I just told you to back off. That does not mean get in further. It's gonna be one of those games. Alright, Burning Hands. Whatever. Hit 2 of them. Froze up for a second there. Is he honestly scared? Fighters have a bonus! Yeah. Okay. Lindsay's not scared though. You show him what you got with... maybe she is scared. What about you? Show him what you've got with... Yeah, just more burning hands. Now, if I do not look on, I would like to hit all three of them by targeting there. 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 That went well. Okay. Ooh, ooh. This actually went much smoother than I expected. Critical hit for 30. Oh. Okay, guess we're dealing with an elemental too. Or they are. They handled it. Let's just pick up some loot. Unidentified magic bracers, potion of bark skin, alchemist fire, acid. Yep, lots of goodies. I wonder why armor isn't worth much money.
Thank you for your valor and bravery. The enemy was strong, but you were stronger. And that means I made the right choice. Just as I thought, there were worthy leaders among you. I'm especially grateful to them for the courage and common sense they showed while defending the mansion. But this attack means we have even less time than I thought. Someone already knows of our plans and is acting against us. You'll begin your expedition immediately.
Lady Adori, please, I know who arranged this attack. The vile king of the Tux, Iroveti. What's more, I know who among us works for him. Hey, you! Show everyone the ring you're wearing. You think I wouldn't recognize Iroveti's seal? That's why he wasn't killed. The bandits recognized him as one of their own.
Why did I have a feeling that that ring might be bad? But looks like my knowledge of world came through for me. I have no connections to Patax, but Tartuccio's name, accent, and clothes seem like it came straight from there. Yeah, let's turn this in on the asshole.
Probably, yes. But this evidence is circumstantial at best.
Well, it's hoping for more.
There's definitely a spy among us. But who? All I have is one word against another. I'm afraid you're both under suspicion.
I bet my life to despise anyone but this man. I saw how he dealt with those creeps with my own eyes. A true warrior. I'd go with him through hell and high water. This purple crook. He's got the eyes of a spy. And the mug of a spy.
Such eloquence.
Lady Adori, don't listen to this thick-headed barbarian. She doesn't know what she's talking about. During the attack, our leader showed his true colors. He forced us to break into the armory and rob it.
But notice I did not rob the gold. Moral choices. Some dialogue features special options that are available only to characters with certain alignments. Oh. Looks like her diplomacy will cover for me either way.
Considering the circumstances, that was more than reasonable. That was a sound decision. Sometimes one must act at one's own risk and peril until crossing the boundaries of what is allowed. Showing initiative is no crime.
It is insane when faced with death to stop and question whether you may be breaking some law or rule. Even more insane would be to ask forgiveness for making the right decision. Sorry, but your words display a lack of wisdom. What about that trick he pulled right before we came in here? He knew very well you were fighting the enemy, but instead of rushing to help you, he dallied as long as he could, dropping everything to save people from the fire, even though the guards were handling things just fine. He was obviously hoping to show up too late and find you already dead.
Yeah, what an asshole saving people from fire.
Really, Tartuccio? You're seriously trying to blame someone for saving people from fire?
That's pretty goddamn low.
Ever having to make such a choice, but he behaved decently as a true leader.
A true leader is someone who has their priorities straight, not someone who would put a valuable ally's life in danger for the sake of some servant. Enough squabbling. I'm still not sure which of you I can trust. However, the risk of entrusting the whole affair to a spy is too great. Here's what we'll do. 2 teams will head out. That way, I'll know at least one group can be counted on to serve my interests in the stolen lands.
Who would want to be led by Tartuccio?
The stolen lands have been killed. Those who get here will require help. Please allow me to join the expedition. I'm sad to lose such a talented warrior. But you're right, Valerie. They have greater need of you right now. Go, and may Abadar keep you. Which of the 2 teams would you prefer to accompany? If my leader allows, I would join his team. He seems a worthy commander in my eyes.
Commanders, military leaders, all these laws and rules are but dust and vanity. I suppose I will accompany Tartuccio.
Our leader is good in battle, but I don't like all the spiritual agonizing. I prefer those who can act without wasting time helping every little pipstick. Those like Tartuccio.
Sounds like Tartuccio is going to get straddled with some of the less savory characters.
Take the credit for himself and be done with it. Shellen, spare me from such allies. I'm going with you. You're a hero worthy of my quill.
I don't even need to think. I'm coming with this man. As for you, Purple Toad, just wait till we meet along the way. I'll be sure to hear your rights. Fight guts from the trees.
All right, we have 2 teams. To avoid unnecessary conflict on the road, you'll each take a different route to the stolen lands. Tartuccio's team will go through Navacta's crossing. The garrison commandant will provide him all the help he needs. You will take your team to Oleg Levitin's trading post. He's been complaining about the Stag Lord's bandits for a while now. There, you'll be provided with all the necessary travel supplies. I'd like to believe you, but I know all too well how convincing traitors and spies can be. If you're truly innocent, I hope you can forgive me this precaution.
Yeah, very forgiving. Tartuccio, on the other hand,
While you're away,
he's probably going to end up dead. Somehow, you know.
and learn who in Restall is working for Patax. But you should know that it isn't just Patax we need to worry about. The royal house of Sertova may also interfere in our plans. I've managed to keep this affair a secret from them so far, but that can't last long. By my estimations, you have no more than 3 months. After that, any feats you accomplish will be pointless. And now, farewell. This battle was but the first ordeal along your path, and you overcame it as true champions of Restall. May the obstacles that follow also fall to your feet. Fear nothing, my friends, and return victorious.
So I can see with that 3 months, they're just kind of putting a time limit on the campaign, but I guess that other house is going to do the same thing, try and set up a country. It's hard to tell.
Surviving a terrible night, our small team set off to brave our fate. Beware, stolen lands. Heroes are on the way.
Map movement. This is a map of the stolen lands in their vicinity. To set out, click on one of the arrows near your party token. You can learn the whereabouts of significant locations by talking to characters or happening upon them during your journey. After learning about a location, you must find the way yourself. Along the way, random encounters await. You may be attacked by monsters, or you may meet new acquaintances. After exiting the location of a random encounter, you will not be able to return there. The last sentence was really important. Okay, yeah, show location names. Well, let's check my journal, see if it has any hints on where exactly I go. My quill takes its first sip from the inkpot and scripts, or rather scribbles, the first lines of the book about the travels, adventures, and victories that lie ahead. The book that will extol both its hero and me, its author, Lindsay, the note to self. When I come up with a fancy nickname, add it here. I am writing this in the banquet hall where Sorlord Jimandi Aldori just finished telling us about the mission that lies before us. Tomorrow at dawn, our team will set off to the stolen lands in order to accomplish glorious feats. This is where my book begins, and the gods themselves can't say what will happen next. I write this in the same banquet hall in which we just finished helping fight off a vile attack on the mansion. Our adventure started much earlier than I expected, and it turned out to be much crueler than I'd imagined. It pains me to think that so many of those who just recently heard Lady Aldori's speech are no longer with us, but still, against all odds, we venture forth. I don't know if I want to read the whole thing, so let's skip to what we need to do. Our daring Titus Oric and the insidious sorcerer Tartusio received a special task from Jimandi Aldori, a chance to claim their own barony, but only one of them may prevail. We must seek Tartusio out in the stolen lands and find out what our rival is busy with. So first, we can find shelter and get French information about the bandit at the trading post of a certain Oleg Levington. Let's get there. We will fail in basically 90 days. But where is our trading post? Alright, that's cute. Random encounter. Fair native inhabitants of the First World. A large variety of different creatures fall under this category. Dryads, satyrs, and even those cruel little mites are all fae. Okay, so we're up against 3 wolves. Looks like a Myrian wolf are tied. For initiative anyway. Which is already raged. Okay, counts as permanent. Let's wait till it gets right within range. Okay, it doesn't work on... yeah, humanoids of 5 or more hit dice. Well, no. Clouds the mind of a humanoid, and these are not humanoids. But they do have ears. They can be ear-piercing screamed. And the rest of us can charge in because melee characters are simple. To treat an affliction means to lend to a single disease or to tend to a single disease or poison character. Make a lore religion check. If your check exceeds the DC of the affliction is removed. Fighter's getting a little fucked up. Who? Who? Alright, so we won, but we got a little mangled. It's high time to set up camp and rest. In camp, all characters will restore some of their lost hit points, and those capable of casting spells will replenish them. To camp, you need a special resource, rations. When you press R or click the rest button, an outline of camp appears under your mouse cursor. Green outline allows you to click to set up camp there, while a red one means that someone is blocking it. Then we click the bonfire. Wolves have no treasure. Alright, let's test camping.
Let us not hesitate.
Use healing spells and abilities before resting. Ooh. It takes 4 rations for us to set up camp because there's 4 of us and we only have 4. It's a little rough. But your characters attempt to hunt the surrounding area, gathering rations. The main hunter makes a roll against the area DC to determine the outcome. Each additional character helps the main hunter by increasing the roll value. Camp camouflage. Character attempts to hide the camp. To reduce the chance of a night encounter, aid makes a roll against the area DC to determine the outcome. Each additional character helps the camouflage aid by increasing the roll value. Cooking. Characters attempt to prepare a nourishing meal for the party, granting lasting beneficial effects. The main cook makes a roll against the area DC to figure out the outcome. Each additional character helps the main cook by increasing the roll value. Guards. Your characters attempt to guard the camp, taking turns according to the guard order. If a night encounter occurs, an active guard makes a perception roll against the enemy's stealth DC. Succeeding at this roll allows the guard to awaken the party before the fight. Failing the roll results in a surprise attack. All of this makes sense, but I am surprised that there's quite so much to it. Alright, let's see what healing spells and abilities we have our hands on. Not impressed. 1d8 plus 1, so I rolled a 1. Alright, now how many healing potions do I have? Is that my belt? see. Ah, we have 19 potions. Let's pass that shit out. Belt lantern. Oh, nice. This game's much more detailed than I really thought it was going to be. And she's got a scroll of cure light and a scroll of cure moderate.
Our time has come.
There we go. Much better roll.
One shouldn't brag about a big sword if they can't carry one.
Okay, we'll rest later. I'm just worried about that very low supply of rations we have, really. It's just her biography. I really like this map feel. There we go, the trading post. Now we can sell shit and buy rations. And then we can sleep to recover our wounds instead of saying sleep is for the weak. Drink your potions, pop your caffeine pills, suck it up. Oh, and we got 3 frontliners and 1 backliner. There we go. This week's tax. And some beer. And where's that pretty wife of yours, Olegs? She should serve us dinner. Right down, dimwit. We're just here for the Stag Lord's tax. Hand over the money and we'll be on our way. Some dialogues feature special options that are available only to characters with certain alignments. You want to drink some of my blood too? I'm sick of you. You're like Locust. Think you control everything around here just because you put up that painted rag of yours? Come here, squeeze us dry. Come again. Oleg, a large man with a rough face, stops talking when he notices you. Ah, you must be a guest from Rostov. We'll offer the chance to let them go in peace, even though I'm tempted to just attack them since they're bandits. Alright, we'll leave. What makes you think we won't just return with greater numbers? Why would we leave when we've got easy pickings from Rostov before us? I was hoping they would make it combat. Oh yeah.
Can you make an epic pose? I need inspiration.
Now we can say that we offered them mercy, and we just had to attack them.
We shall overcome.
Alright, we'll daze this guy.
I'm not doing it wrong. The spell is gone.
Alright. Seems like she's just gonna get away regardless. This poor bastard's going down with like 4 damage hits. You didn't stand a goddamn chance. But, did get a little fucked up there. Take that, you scoundrels! There are no scoundrels left for you to shake your fist at, I'm sorry. Girl got away. A plague on her. She's certain to complain to the Stag Lord. They came before to collect taxes, but this time they'll come to punish treason. Now what are we to do? He sighs. If only I could send Svetlana somewhere safe and show those rats what's what. Dove, why are you here? Told you to stay hidden. It's all over. I saw it. I just need to make sure you were all right. The woman looks at her husband tenderly, if with a hint of sorrow. Oleg mumbles something as she looks away embarrassed. My name is Svetlana. I'm sorry your arrival to our trading post turned out so unwelcoming. This place is now one of the few hospitable shelters for travelers in the surrounding wilderness. Yeah, here were these bandits. When will they arrive? Who are they? They're the Stag Lord's gang, that's who. These lads team with bandits like bed bugs in a beggar's hut, and you just stirred them up. They'll have a camp not far from here. I expect they'll return in full force in half a day, maybe less. The Stag Lord won't take an insult like this lightly. His henchmen are more like demons than men. You have nothing to fear. I'll help you deal with the attack. Well, I appreciate your good intentions. I may not have the best manners, but Oleg Levinton is the last name you'll hear accused of being ungrateful. If we manage to defend this post, I'll reward you proper. We have to hide Svetlana. Please don't argue, Dove. Now we also need to decide on a plan. Go ahead and look around. There may be some tools that can be used for the battle. There are some pretty solid traps around. Some tar and a box of alchemist fire, it looks like. Ooh. But we don't want to set his post on fire. Well, maybe if we covered the walls with something to protect them. Alright, yes, I think it could work. I'll even shoot the arrow myself. Used to be pretty good with a bow back in my day. I'm gonna look around. Think of the best way to use the tar and traps. This is pretty cool. Looks like we have a level up. A level up. And we can multi-class. They even have Dragon Disciple. Looks they have just the standard player's handbook classes, nothing from the advanced books. But that's fine. Okay. So we'll become a level 2 fighter. Hit strong grip, get a +1 bonus to CMD on sunder attempts and on disarm attempts. Wonder how often they'll try and disarm us. Okay. So I get 3 skill points per level. That sounds right. Yeah. I'll try and have a base level. Actually, I bet our bard is pretty good at the lores. But still, that's all I'll go. Then we get a feat. A bonus combat feat specifically. Yeah, we'll go with another armor feat. We'll be wearing heavy armor later. And we get acrobatics for free. Looks like everyone gets demoralize. It's just a way to taunt. Heavy armor focus, yeah. Alright, we've got another fighter who is a shield specialist. Many fighters believe the tower shield is a tool suitable only for troops on the battlefield, claiming it is too large and bulky to use in skirmishes or within dungeon corridors. Tower shield specialists defy these notions, using their massive shield with startling skill and incredible effect. They use these seemingly clumsy shields to perform deft maneuvers that confound their enemies. Burst barrier. Second level, tower shield specialist can use this shield to screen himself from burst spells and effects, gaining +1 bonus on reflex saves against them while employing a tower shield. Then later on they get armor and tower shield training. Which mostly allows them to apply extra dexterity to their AC. So let's see what her dex is. 13. So she's not getting a lot of benefit out of that yet. I'll have to give her some magic items and things for that. But wow. Okay, looking at these scores, it'll be nice to reduce these negatives for wielding a tower shield. Alright, what do we want her to have? I mean, I guess she may as well learn the things she's good at learning. For now, at least. That seems like a decent choice. Alright, and then her feat will be... No. Oh, wait, what is her dex? 13. Good. Just enough to start setting up some of the combat's reflexes chain. Yeah. Or just give her shield focus. Shield wall. Whenever you are wielding a shield and you're adjacent to an enemy, which will be almost all the time, wielding a shield who also has this feat. No, not many other people will have the shield though. Okay. Endurance might be good. But I think I'm just going to focus on the basics for now. Well, hold on. I need to see what combat reflexes will open up later. Because if it's like in the normal Pathfinder game, which so far everything has been very true to the Pathfinder game, which has been nice, that'll open up a lot of things later. Does she already have dodge then? Because this feat requires dodge. Maybe this was the feat that opens up all those other defensive feats. I'll just give her shield focus for now. It's pretty appropriate. I might hit the wiki or something later to make sure that I'm opening up the right feat trees later. Alright. I haven't leveled many bards, so I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to take her. Need to keep up the trickery. She should have some stealth. Need her to provide those knowledges we're low on. Yeah, I'll just keep spreading her out. Make her kind of a jack of all trades. Alright. A bard talent. These seem a lot like rogue talents. Skill focus is pretty nice later on. And since there's so few skills, skill focus is actually kind of a big deal. But Canny Observer is like skill focus and perception. Okay, then a bunch of things we don't qualify for. But, yeah, I'm gonna give her Canny Observer. Let's see what she can see. Might take me a bit to pick a spell. I'm only picking one. Let's see, this will cause them to fall prone and take no actions. CC is always pretty good. You fascinate nearby living creatures, causing them to stop. But it only affects up to 2d4 hit dice of creatures, which is basically About 4-ish on average. As long as they're level 1 creatures, you might affect several of them. Which, given that we're right about to go into a large mess of creatures, is pretty good. Having basic expendable summons is pretty good. But it'll only last 1 round per level, so 2 rounds. +4 against mind affecting effects is pretty solid. Affects 1 creature. Vanish is what I'd probably pick at tabletop just to cast it on myself. But for computer, I don't know. Hideous Laughter is good and Hypnotism is good. I wouldn't normally think Remove Fear would be that great, but we did just get hit with a fear effect at level 1. That was pretty strong. But Sleep is probably like the classic go-to spell. This affects pretty much the same number of creatures as Hypnotism would on average. But then it makes them helpless, so you can just walk up and coup de grace them and crit them. Alright, so we'll go with Sleep. It's well versed. Resistant to the bardic performances of others and to sonic effects in general. Which, by the way, how do I get your bardic performance out on the field? Alright. And barbarians, I normally don't like them quite as much as fighters, because they don't get the weapon training. Damn it. I'm recording. Okay. Lol, my bad. Alright. Okay. Rage powers. So the barbarian isn't just good at hitting, they get rage powers. And what those do varies. And somehow, she's getting more skill points than me. Which, I mean, I get that's just part of the game, but yeah, I'm giving her that point in Lore Religion because she had that Cure Affliction, which uses Lore Religion to remove afflictions. You're not very persuasive. Let's just keep your perception up too. Alright. So some of these, I think it was Beast Totem that I liked, because eventually you get Lion's Pounce, which lets you get a full attack on your charges, which is pretty great in later levels. But let's look at the others. Lethal stance. Gains a +1 confident bonus to hit. This bonus increases by 1 for every 4 levels. This is a stance rage power. Barbarian can't have more than 1 stance rage power active at a time. But this is basically weapon training. So that really removes the difference between fighter and barbarian. It's a really good stance. Or she could get a +1 bonus on attack rolls, but also take a penalty to AC. Why would you ever take that when lethal stance does the same thing? Am I missing something? Lethal stance is just better. Okay, while raging, the barbarian gains a bite attack. Meh. Okay, there's a clear winner here, and it's lethal stance. Yeah, it was listed twice, so I just wanted to make sure she didn't get it from something else too. Okay. So cool. Everyone has higher max HP. We get to go around and set up some traps. Do you want to give us some help? An old man would like me to fight? Here, take this potion. Consider that my help in your fight. Alright, cool. He gathers herbs, roots, berries. Live in the forest, live off the land. Since leaving Restov for these parts, I ended up a merchant here at this post. They let me in out of kindness, help me with things. They bring me water, firewood when it's cold, and the occasional barrel of honey. Jesus, a whole barrel of honey. That'd be tasty. I kind of want honey now. And some tea. That'd be good. Okay, let me see your goods. I got lots of things to get rid of. Ooh, ever-burning torches. Actually, Bard might be able to use that chain shirt. That scroll is only 6 gold. Alright. I don't know the value of cooking ingredients yet. I mean, they obviously have the gold value listed, but maybe I should look up some cooking recipes online or something before I sell those off right away. Ooh, potion of enlarged person. That'll be fun later. There we go. That's the big money. Oh. Ooh, bracers of armor. Actually, I don't think any of us need those, though. Those are pretty strictly just for mages who can't even put on cloth armor. Okay, so we're offering him 330 gold worth of stuff. And it looks like we have our own 519 gold. So we got like a net 550 gold. I wouldn't mind a masterwork. Ooh, Falcata. Those are cool. Masterwork greatsword would be nice. There we go. That is what we really need. Yep, just the full 20. Ooh, small bag of holding. We'll need that later, for sure. Okay, so it went from us getting a lot of money to us giving them a lot of money, but that's fine. Just gonna take one more look through. Yeah, the falchion is also pretty sweet. It's got 2d4 slashing, but the main thing is it crits pretty easy, 18 to 20. I think it's the only two-handed weapon that crits on an 18. So it's got like a 5% better chance to crit than the greatsword. But, alright, deal. Now we have 350 gold, and I can hit people better. Alright, let's save. The real question is, how do we set up traps? How do I heal? Okay, I thought we'd have to manually select trap positions and stuff. That's a little easier. Potatoes. Sure. Alright, so they're doing well enough to take care of their well. They're doing well for themselves. Her. Oh, that was cure moderate. Whoops. Okay, well. Whatever. We got the job done. So now they're talking about this guy. Apparently he ran away from the post and came back. He knows every tree and bush in the area and how they can help you. The Stag Lord's gang wants him to work for them. He lacks the courage to fight those bandits, but will just walk away from us. He has a good heart, even if he crumbles a lot, especially recently. Let's get back to possible attack. How many bandits are? What do they want? What do they want? They think they own this land. They think they can come, take what they want, steal the better part of our money every month as a toll for their leader. They even broke our gates so we can't try and hide anything from them. No one knows exactly how many there are. Sometimes only 5 or 6 come. Sometimes it's a whole gang. I'd have shown them what for long ago if not for my wife. Claimed they were collecting taxes? Why? For the Stag Lord and his cronies, of course. That Stag Lord fancies himself a king in these parts. He may have antlers for a crown, but all the troublemakers around here are happy to follow his orders as long as they're paid. So they charge an arm and a leg as taxes, and they call their executions punishments for treason. Even those who never swore allegiance to the Stag Lord. They're killed fast, if they're lucky. If not, Dove, why don't you go start supper while we finish our talk? I have no need of protection from dark talk. I'm not some blind kitten, you know. I've seen what they do to people. She lowers her head. Most of the gang is made up of simple bandits, but there are a few monsters among their leadership, especially those close to the Stag Lord. Ox and Dovin from Nizrak come to mind. They like to make a show of their tortures and executions. My husband and I, we saw the bodies. Alright. I'm gonna save, and then we'll start the attack. Fear not, I'll stand between you and the scum. You're under my protection. Finally, a fight. Was bored with all that talking. Well, these aren't the heroics I was hoping to write about, but I guess even the greatest heroes had to start somewhere. I beg you, be careful. Please don't let Oleg do anything too risky. Go hide inside. We're gonna meet our guests. Yeah. We'll give them a meeting they won't forget. It's a meeting that'll last the rest of their lives. And then black screen. Can you at least say now loading? Ah, well. This is starting off real hot. What? No. Don't loot. Attack. Ooh, looks. It's taking a few arrows. Oh no, the husband died. Let's see if we can do that without the husband dying. Yada yada. Okay. So now we know that arrow guys are probably the most dangerous. I'll try and hit them with some spells. Oh, damn, he got crit. Ah. Yeah, I'll just use sleep next time. But this is good practice. We're finally figuring out how to do mass combat, protect NPCs, good things. Of course, I think it wasn't the guys that got up on him. I think he just took some arrows.
Let us strike as one.
Yeah. And we just send him charging in. That works a little better.
Serves you right.
Okay, this time he survived. Ooh, composite longbow. Composite longbow. And you know what? It's okay if we overburden ourselves. We don't have to walk far to sell it all. Alright, save the day. On the third try. Apparently that alchemist is hiding in the bushes again. Alright, now my lord, head on up to the guest room on the second floor. You deserve some rest after such a battle. I need to clean things up. This is for your efforts. Now don't offend me by trying to turn it down, just take it. An honest fight deserves an honest reward. If that were more common practice in the world, I think life would be so much better. Alright, cool. We get a nap. Hold for it. Talk tomorrow. Huh. I guess she's cool with me taking her food. At least she didn't say anything about it. Games are always weird about that. How they want to give you things, but it ends up just being that you're stealing things.
Applause, please.
Because I'm just taking their stuff and I'm going to sell it right back to them. Now, how do I actually sleep? Can't we have one night of restful sleep? You wake up from a nasty dream that tortured you almost all night long. In it you saw a wall of unnaturally thick fog that surrounded you, slowly moving closer and closer. Quick look out the window, and you find out that the fog was not a figment of your imagination, not a dream. And then...
Annie. Please, Annie. Can you hear me? Please.
The half-transparent outline of a beautiful nymph appears before you. Even in this ghostly form, it's clear that she's exhausted. Her shoulders are slouched and her large blue eyes burn within her pale face. Her voice is barely more than a whisper as she reaches toward you. Please hear me. It seems that only you can see or hear the nymph. I guess we'll ask what she wants.
Aid, salvation. We have a common enemy, and long have I searched for someone who can defeat him. The one you call the Stag Lord. As a storm strikes ruthlessly with gusts and lightning, the Stag Lord wreaks havoc with the swords of his servants. And not just in the world of people. The land also suffers from the evil he brings. Forests and my flowers suffocate in this fog. Soon even I will vanish, as the last ray of light fades at dusk.
The Stag Lord's responsible for the fog?
It hides his fortress as well as his dark deeds. While responsible, he did not create this affliction. It is the work of a powerful druid who has betrayed even himself. I know not why the powers did not leave this renegade, but even I was unable to defeat him. Who am I? Just a tear shed by the land itself, a bitter sigh of nature. I am a nymph, the guardian of this area. The defeated guardian. Call me the guardian of the bloom, if you wish.
Feels weird to compliment her in this sort of situation, but let's see what happens.
Beauty is so tender. It can so easily be crushed under the blows of cruel fate. But you can save it from being undone.
How can I help you?
This fog enshrouds, entangles, suffocates. If only I could learn how it was created. My powers wane. I have barely the strength to call out to you. All I know for certain is that somewhere in this forest lies an old house, and it echoes with the remnants of a strange power. The Stag Lord and his druid were there. The fog hides this place from me, but I can point you to the bandits' camp near the Thornford. Make them tell you where this place is. Go there and listen to the echo, catch the whispers, search for anything that can tell you how the fog was created. Once the fog clears, nature will breathe again, and you will be able to easily find your way to the fortress of our mutual enemy. I don't believe in fate, stranger, but our meeting seems more than a coincidence.
So she's going to lead me to a place that should help lead me to a place that will hopefully help lead me to the bandit. To the Thornford, and then to a house that houses a druid, and then hopefully to the main fortress. Okay, so we can talk to our companions here, see who we want to keep in our party, and hopefully do some trading. Hey, Lindsay. Let's see, tell me about yourself. Where are you from? From all over. I was actually born in Gelt. Such a tiny village that's not even on the maps. If it weren't for my teacher, I'd still be living there, milking goats, weeding turnips, swilling homebrew, having babies, and using books only as kindling. Doesn't have a high opinion of her hometown. He's a true saint. He was once an important person in the capital of the Church of Sheln, but he got in trouble with the authorities and went on a self-imposed exile to the tiniest, most godforsaken, priestless village he could find, the one where I was born. He wanted to open a school, but the villagers wouldn't let him. You can heal us all you like, but no putting any ideas into our children's heads, and only distract them from their work. But he did teach me on the sly. He taught me how to read, how to write. He gave me books, poems, legends. He was the one who taught me about the archknights of Avestan. And when I told him I was going on a journey, he gave a magic ring so that Sheldon would protect me from harm. The archknights, who are they? Oh, you haven't heard of them? How can you be a hero without knowing one of the most epic stories in the history of stories? No, I won't spoil anything. You should just read about them yourself. Every single chapter. Their adventures are what gave me the idea of going on a heroic quest and writing about it to begin with. And now look at me. Here I am, on a heroic quest. So how'd you become a bard? When I realized there was nothing for me at home besides more radish patches, I decided to run away. I don't like radishes either. I'd run away too. A traveling book peddler, Tessie the Quill, happened to cross our village. Well, I stuck to her like a burr and wouldn't let her go till she agreed to take me as an apprentice. Together we traveled everywhere, to Brevoy and Taldor and even Ustalav. And then I found out about the Academy of Grand Arts in Pitax. I thought, well, I love reading stories, so surely I can learn to write them too. I enrolled on my first try, and they even gave me a scholarship. Then they expelled me, but that's okay. They'd already taught me all the important stuff, and now with Sheldon's help I can manage on my own. I would say she probably does worship Sheldon. Yes, not to offend the other gods, but she's the most important of them all. All the other gods guard the world as it is, but only the eternal Rose, the goddess of beauty, calls us to the world as it should be. She's the goddess of art, beauty, love, and music, and the half-sister of Zon Kuthan. She focuses on as much attention on internal beauty as external. As aspects of her role as goddess of beauty, Sheldon also promotes the creation of art, the composing and performance of music. Gosh, man, you can't just ask why people's clothes are messy. She waves her hand carelessly. Forget it. I can't waste money on looks. I'd rather buy books instead. In 100 years, when people are reading my works, they are going to ask whether the author had holes in her sleeves. Good point. You come from Pitax, right? Tell me about it. Oh, I love Pitax. Even though they kicked me out, it's a great place. A joyful place. What's life in Pitax like? Actually, Pitax has always been one huge nest of thieves, bandits, river pirates, smugglers, fences, card sharps. It's always been homes for the likes of them. But that was before Irovetti became king. With him, a whole different life began there. Irovetti wanted to make history, but not as another bandit with a crown. Though that's exactly what he is. He wants to be glorified through centuries as a great patron of the arts. So he built the Academy of Grand Arts and spent lots of gold to assemble the best artists, poets, and musicians. Of course, the very best ones refused to go, but he got what he wanted in a way. Pitax was once just a booze barn for thieves, now it's a cabaret. What do you know about the king? He won his crowning in a game of cards, which says as much about Pitax as it does about him. He's fiendishly clever. Some cheats I know told me that from the moment he appeared, he started to pulling off such schemes that the old city masters just scratched their heads. With him in charge, the gold flooded into Pitax, and also, he's incredibly, unimaginably, fantastically decadent and conceited. Getting drunk with whores at the pub, that's not Lord Irovetti style. Oh no, he aims higher. Dressing up like a male Callistra, also known as the Savored Sting and the Unquenchable Fire, is the goddess of lust and revenge who takes on many faces and guises. With a golden codpiece and holding a 3-week orgy with dancing on the rooftops, parades, public executions, and in contests for the best ode to the great unrivaled king. That's more like it. This guy seems awesome. He also likes singing. Ugh! And he orders his guards to make the citizens gather for his shows. May Sheldon have mercy on his listeners. Tell me about the Academy. You know, jokes aside, I'm thankful for Irovetti for building it, but He has no taste at all, whatsoever. He likes his art loud, bright, grandiose, and most importantly, glorifying His Royal Highness. He kicked out the best charcoal artist because he didn't wish to spend money on gray scribbles. He sacked a masterful flute player from Zhangjiao for playing too quietly, and instead ordered them to open a kettle drum class. He even ordered the academy to expel me. And for what? An innocent limerick. Would you like to go back? I'd like to return, but on one condition. If they threw out 3/4 of the professors who teach there now, and returned all the ones they banished. If you ask me, proud to have been expelled. If my art was to Irovetti's liking, then I would have reason to be ashamed. Man, I really like this character, but I'm getting tired of talking. I'm gonna read in silence for a little bit and upload this in high definition so you guys can read yourself. Person is a storytelling animal. I mean, I guess. I wouldn't say that's our primary thing. Not sure I agree with her teacher Estebald or Eobald. Why would he say that? Why am I saying a book's full of inconsistencies? I haven't even read it yet. Don't bend things for dramatic effect. Just tell it how it is. So what kind of character am I? Truth be told, I was a little afraid of meeting a real hero. In the books, they're all protectors of the weak and poor. But in real life, you've eased all my fears with 2 shakes of a tail. You're a true hero, just like in the legends. My new fear is that in 100 years, my readers will say people like you never existed. But I'm writing the truth. She's already inconsistent with herself. She says I won't change a single letter, so don't even ask. But just before, she said she'd write a 2nd edition. I'm gonna go chaotic good for this one. Well, no. The truth. The truth, only the truth. Just teensy bits of imaginative exaggeration. What's this guy's? Enorial 8 Eyes. Hey, you're an adventurer, right? Seeking fortune in the stolen lands? Aren't you the only one of your kind here? Take my advice. Keep your eyes open and watch your back. Sometimes the one who call yourself your friends are more dangerous than your enemies. She's started the day with a jug of wine. Once upon a time, I was famous throughout Absalom, an oral 8 eyes of the Reckless Six. Well, glory passes quickly. A few miserable decades later, and no one recognizes you on the street anymore. What a shame. Why are you called 8 eyes? Once, long ago, I could spot an enemy and pin him up to the wall before he could even think of attacking. Some said I had 8 eyes and looked all around at once, but it seems I've outlived my nickname. Been drinking so much lately. It's best I don't test my skills too often. What are you doing here? Sit here waiting for adventurers who are in need of help. You may be sitting here in a backwards tavern, but in Absalom I have a lot of friends who are eager to make a few coins. They have brave hearts but shallow pockets. A little gold would be a welcome change for them. I can send them a message and they will come from Absalom through a portal. If you're interested, just give me a sign and we'll arrange everything right away. Would you like to join me? No. I've got enough things to do already. You want to know how one could exchange the life of Pathfinder for this sorry drunken rat hole? The light in your eyes goes out if someone had blown a candle. You lose all your friends because of one scumbag, and then you'll understand. I was the only one to return from the final campaign of the Reckless Six, and whatever is left of me can't be called a secret anymore. He remained silent for a long time, as if wondering if she wishes to poke the old wound. Here's the story. Our leader, Vermelt, was the best of us. Wife, brave, friend with everyone. One of those friends, Edvon Adrazent, sent him a disturbing letter. It stumbled upon a message of some ancient books on the art of necromancy. Secrets like those are best left hidden forever. Trust me. I've seen what that kind of magic can do. The elf bites her lips. To make a long story short, these volumes were supposedly hidden in the catacombs of Gallowspire. We decided that the books should be retrieved and kept safe by the society. We gathered in a tavern, discussed the expedition, and then proceeded to Ustalav. It was a normal mission. Quick and quiet recovery. She smiles bitterly. But everything turned out to be much more complicated. We barely made it through the Witchgate Forest. All those terrible living trees, undead druids, and their arches of bone. It was a miracle we managed to make it out alive. We'd chosen Wren Church to stop at. It was marked on Vermelt's map as a safe enough tavern to hold up and lick our wounds. Oh, I wish that had been true. Vermelt was the first to perish. He was attacked by one of the monsters hiding in the stables. It tossed him about like a feather and threw him down an ancient well. His shouts echoed for a long time, and I didn't hear him landing. And then she turns away, hiding her eyes. Enough. I shouldn't have gotten into this. Who am I to stir up others' feelings with all my chatter? Better forget about it for now. Maybe I'll tell you more some other time, but not today. Regarding your story... can I just press her? I have no wish to fill your sleep with nightmares. When you prove that you can stand firm in battle, that you can achieve victory without losing yourself along the way, then I will tell you of the horrors that waited us in Venerch. So I can probably make more custom characters with him. Hey, he seems to be in a good mood and greets you warmly. You certainly ruffled those villains' feathers. Well, anyway, new day, new troubles. Have you seen the fog? Never seen anything like it before. The road to Restov looks like someone spilled milk and just hung it in the air. I couldn't see anything through that soup, not even with a torch. Feels like witchcraft to me. I bet the Stag Lord's involved somehow. Rumors say he deals with all kinds of bad magic. Let's do some business. Ooh, Cloak of Resistance. That's a standard goodie. I'll make sure the barbarian has a composite longbow too, just in case. But if we have the if we sell the silver spoon, how can we put it in our mouth? I'm saving the chainmail to see if that'd be better for someone else in the party. And even though these are pretty great, they only weigh 1 pound. We may need it later. Okay. Get us that money. We're still heavily overloaded? Oh. Well, it's just me right now. Alright, so she's good. She's got leather armor. What's her dex? +3. Yeah, this is a 2 AC upgrade for her. She can only hold like 30 pounds. Poor girl. The ginormous sword. Large bastard sword. Well, that's accurate. She was always supposed to be like a extra large sword wielder. Can I sort this? There we go. Actually, let's sort by weight. This thing's 40 pounds. Well, it's a good thing we can sell it. How are we so overloaded? Now we have a cape. It's pretty sweet. Okay. Let's keep talking to people. This is a serious storm. Let's grab another 5. It's a little expensive. Ooh, I want a couple of these, but oh well. Okay. Let's step back inside. Those guys should probably step back inside too. Seems like Lindsay's the only person standing around that we can just talk to. Ah. Just have to walk around. We're gonna talk. Alright, spill it. I'm listening. Dunno. Depends on what we're gonna talk about. If it's about monsters or swords or scars, I approve. That's good. And if you're gonna ask questions like why and what for and how, screw this. She looks you over slowly, head to toe. Or you got even harder ones? Let's talk about your sword. You bet it's not simple. Check out how big it is. This sword belonged to a real blasted frost giant. I killed the beast and took this liquor for myself. Fits me perfect. A damn trophy. Her eyes flash with menace as if she's challenging some invisible enemy to try taking away her trophy. Tell me about yourself. First, I'm a barbarian. I'm strong. I grew up in the realm of the Mammoth Lords. Realm of megafauna inhabited by humans almost as savage as the prehistoric beasts that surround them. I left my tribe, the Six Bears. Mary looks thoughtfully at her four bent fingers and shrugs. And I like fights, she can see, bending her thumb. What's it like to be a barbarian? Ha! Our people are big and strong. We can cut a monster in half with one swing. We can walk 3 days and nights with no rest. We can eat a whole fried auroch. Guess you had to do a lot of training. Training? Haha! No one freaking trained me. The boys of the Six Bears got their training. All I could do was watch. Her eyes gleam with anger. And you know what? They were still crap even after all that training, because I kicked their butts hard! Animals, bandits, monsters, all thought they were stronger than me. Idiots. She spits on the ground. Because if you start a fight, you think you can win, you think you're stronger than your enemy. Mary raises her chin proudly. I defeated them all. See all the scars on my face? What does your place look like? Huge and freezing. No place for weaklings. Tribes hunt auroch herds to survive. Aurochs are fast, so tribes follow herd for days, just to not die of hunger. If you are weak, you stay behind and die in the snow. Tribe cannot stop. Why'd you leave? Because they were assholes, all of them. Men were cowards and scoundrels, and women were scared like sheep. Men think no girl can be a fighter because they're weak. They're afraid a woman can beat them. And females just nod, go side hoods, cook meat, watch kids. That's what they always say. But I'm a warrior, damn it. I won't cook hides and watch meat. She's already shouting, her fists clenched tightly. I told them so. I went hunting with men, and what did I get? Still the same. You are a woman. You stay home. You even gave me a nickname, the Soft Chieftain. Like warrior woman was a funny joke. Damn, I even went to hunt those shit-faced frost giants, and there, she suddenly stops, breathing heavily, sweat beating on her forehead. After a moment, she waves her hand awkwardly and forces herself to grin. So I left. Cowards, scoundrels, and sissies. That's why. You're a good fighter. She jerks her head up. Quite good, huh? Compared to who? If I was a crappy male, I'd fight better. Is that what you say? She glares at you, her eyes narrow. Or you say I could be better? Like, go get some training, Amiri, right? Met what I said? Or you're very good in a fight. You're an excellent warrior. I've just given you a compliment, that's all. For several seconds, Amiri continues to glare at your face with suspicion. Then, all of a sudden, she mellows. True, I fight good. That's what I do best. You're kinda rude. You bet. Mari grins, then suddenly frowns. I'm a fighter, big and strong. Everyone's afraid of me. I can't play the softy. Who would ever fear me then? Thanks. Let's talk about something else. Alright, so she won't give me the full story on Frost Giants yet. Talking. When will we do some monster killing instead? Dog. My dude's so slow. I'm overburdened, but I really don't feel like I'm carrying a lot. Oh. I have 240 pounds of rations. I may have needed fewer rations than this. I just immediately was like, buy all the rations. So, this guy got lost in the mist while the attack happened. But don't you imagine I'd be scared of a good fight if only I'd known I was missing all the action. But I see you've got everything under control. Tell me about the Pathfinder Society. What is this? Pathfinder Society, TM. Yeah, we'll get into that later. Yeah. I'll have 2,000 gold. So we're done there. So do I just walk out of town? How do I get to the map? Oh, let's go ahead and save. Save game. Oh. Still feel like that well might be hiding some kind of secret too. I'm so overburdened with food. Greetings, Valerie sighs. Everything is well, I hope. I'm ready for new orders. You don't have to be so etiquette. I'm aware of that. But I'm sure you understand that I am what I am. That's how I was brought up. First by my parents, and then by my mentors in the order. Besides, I was born to a noble family. So I rather enjoy the idea that my manners of speech differ a bit from the common language of the peasantry. You just can't imagine how many social climbers have bowed politely the moment I opened my mouth. That does sound fun. You're so eager to follow my orders. Why? What do you mean, why? I follow your orders. I've joined your campaign because I have faith in you. I believe your intentions to be noble, that things may not always turn out as you've planned. You're my companion. Your orders are law. It's my duty to follow them. Well, so long as you don't order me to do something that's absolutely dishonorable. But that would never happen, I hope. Tell me about yourself. What would you like to know? I was born to a noble family, though I didn't remain long on the family estate. My father sent me to the Order of the Eternal Rose, but I left once I realized that it didn't match my principles. Why were you sent to the Paladin Order of the Eternal Rose? As you can imagine, for my first days I was surrounded by crowds of servants and nannies who never stopped praising my heavenly beauty. The paladins of Shiln, who used to visit our house, echoed these praises. In the end, general consensus overwhelmed my father's better judgment. When I turned 6, I was brought to the Church of Shiln, and told that this would be my new home. Don't pity me, though, I beg of you. Many who bear this story immediately assumed that my parents were cruel and had no love for their child. My parents had respect for me. They taught me something that has supported me all my life, a sense of self-esteem. Besides, they didn't abandon me. Once every 6 months, they would come and visit me at the Order of the Eternal Rose. We had some tea, then had an hour to walk around the garden. Then they would take their leave, as etiquette demanded. I was born in Brevoy, but in fact I've never seen much of the country. I spent my childhood on a remote estate, owned by my noble family. My father is a respected philanthropist and benefactor of the Church of Shiln. He is also a renowned private collector and a great admirer of the arts. My mother saw to my education personally. From my early years I learned good manners, how to behave at the dinner table, and the proper form of words for every occasion. I also learned the difference between true nobles and low-born upstarts. I learned how to treat each of them properly. Our home was always under the protection of several paladins of Shiln. My father has donated a handsome sum to their order. One of them, a man of venerable age with a gray beard, once let me touch his shining armor. I still remember the admiration I felt. I touched the cold, polished steel. She smiles. Of all the memories of my childhood, that one is somehow the warmest one. It's a little sad. What did they teach you? A variety of things. Some of them appealed to me, others I simply couldn't accept. I enjoyed the physical activities and swordsmanship, but the arts, calligraphy, painting, poetry, and so many other ways to waste one's time. I guess that deep in my heart, I always knew I'd never be a true paladin of Shiln. Wielding a sword always felt more natural to me than handling a paintbrush. So why'd you leave? Because of my heavenly beauty, she winks in contempt. Winces. According to Shiln's law, all art is sacred, no matter what form it takes. Severe punishment awaits those who dare harm a painting, sculpture, or poem, no matter how worthless the drivel might be. I bet she cut her hair. Relics always attracted unwanted attention from the pilgrims and acolytes of the temple. I received my first poem dedicated to me when I was 9. The author was some wealthy geezer, her lips thin in contempt, and that was only the beginning. Sculptures, pictures, poems. I was drowning in them. My admirers mobbed me, and I had to respectfully accept all their garbage. The clerics of the temple were magnanimous, for my suitors made generous offerings to the church. But one time I just snapped. Some wealthy idiot has dedicated an extremely untalented poem to me, and he had the nerve to read it right to my face, holding my sleeve. The hour was late, and I was on my way to get some rest after a boring lesson on rhymes. I lost control and tore the tome apart right in front of him. She raises her head proudly. The paladins wanted to impose some punishment upon me. I don't remember which one exactly. They wanted me to repent. Instead, I just gathered my things and left. I kinda like her. So after she left, I set off for Restov. Valerie shrugs. I wanted to get as far away as possible from Shiln and the destiny everyone seemed so ready to force upon me. Besides, the School of Swordsmanship in Rostov has quite a decent reputation. Honestly, I was hoping for an opportunity to learn from the famous Haldori masters. Eventually it became clear that their technique wasn't a good fit for me. They teach to avoid impact, whereas I prefer to raise my shield. But my abilities and skills, which I learned at the Order of the Eternal Rose, were enough to make the Sword Lords take an interest in me. They offered me a chance to join the mercenaries who served the Sword Lords, and I accepted. I bet your beauty inspired many people in the Order. Her gaze becomes cold, and here I'd hope to avoid the question. She exhales loudly. Well, let's get this over with once and for all. You should understand that I am perfectly aware that most races, orders, and genders find me physically attractive. It's beyond my power to change that, but I've never given a potential admirer any reason to start a conversation with me. But it doesn't stop them. After leaving the order, I took a dagger and cut off the long hair they used to praise. Well, now I get letters praising the beauty of my eyes. It was because of my appearance that I ended up in the Order of the Eternal Rose. Though I never wanted to be a paladin, it was because of my beauty that an infinite number of suitors have pursued me, all of them confusing simple politeness with hints of affection. Valerie clenches her fist. But do you know what I really want? I want someone to stop treating me like a piece of art. I want them to notice that I'm a person, that I'm capable of something more than smiling for paintings. Where I sit wearing a fancy, lacy satin dress, holding a basket of peaches in my lap. Is that too much to ask? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Why all the shouting? It's just a simple question. I'll just tell her I can trust her with my life. Well, yeah. I am truly happy that you understand me. Thank you. Valerie smiles at you gracefully, and the smile is full of warmth that you never expected from someone as stern as Valerie. You suddenly realize that you're smiling back at her. Yeah, let's change the subject. So you don't worship any deity? Right. I need no guidance from above. I have my own good conscience and my leader's orders to live by. Tell me about the way of Sheln. Sheln is a goddess of love, beauty, and art. Her paladins are something like armored artists. That's how they like to think of themselves, at least. Valerie tries to contain her feelings, but her inner contempt bursts forth. They are fanatical defenders of worthless, inartistic paintings and meaningless opuses, if you care to know my opinion. What did the paladins of Sheln usually do? They wander around, seeking the next pile of garbage, and when they find it, they call it an immortal piece of art and admire it until they're blue in the face. You might not believe this, but the paladins of Sheln aren't allowed to slay their enemies if they beg for mercy. Can you guess why? Because a bandit, rapist, or murderer who's been put to the sword will never be able to create something beautiful in the future. So a paladin overpowers her enemy in battle, then inspires him to create a masterpiece. Valerie's face reflects extreme disgust. It might sound hilarious if it weren't true. Plus, all of Sheln's followers are obliged to practice some art in his or her free time. Every single day, no matter what else is going on, even if you're feeling sick, or hungry, or sleepy. Otherwise, according to their clerics, you lose your connection with your goddess. A preposterous notion, wouldn't you agree? You speak with such contempt. She's been trying to ruin my life. Sheln, the goddess of everything useless that ever existed in this life, all the beauty in the world, all the art, all the soulful sighs in the moonlight, they'll never feed a single family. And I beg you to restrain yourself from offering your own opinion. Trust me, I've heard everything you can call me, more than once. Nothing, and nobody, can change my mind. She looks at you with suspicion. As for Sheln, she's the goddess of idlers. I almost joined her preposterous entourage. I'm just glad I was smart enough to denounce her while I still could. Surely there must be at least a few great works among them. Is that what you think? She curves an eyebrow in mocking amazement. Many share that delusion. I was deluded too for a while. Now I consider all works of art useless. People create this garbage because they have nothing better to do. The peasant doesn't paint a picture, he plows. The soldier has no time for sculpture, he must defend his homeland. But idlers and slackers have plenty of time to waste. So they smear canvases with paint and imagine they've done something worthy and valuable. She shakes her head in disapproval. Well, what kind of art did you pursue for a little bit? That I used to embroider. And I still do from time to time. Treacherous blush covers Valerie's cheeks. It's nothing, I assure you. Just a simple task to keep my hands busy and keep the gloomy thoughts at bay. Nothing special. I see. Let's talk about something else. I guess you have plenty of suitors. She rolls her eyes. Sadly, you're right to suppose that, since she has told us that directly and repeatedly. Even here, in these remote lands, one can find offspring of many noble houses, and all of them consider it their duty to kneel before me, begging me to walk with them in the garden. Valerie's voice overflows with contempt. If words were poison, you'd be dying a horrible death. I love that flavor. Oh, and don't forget about the village of Oafs. They understand the concept of nobility perfectly well, so they realize they'll be punished if they dare make any advance towards me, so they prefer to stare from a distance, drooling. And believe me, I can very well imagine what they discuss in the taverns. Valerie shivers and jerks her shoulders as if trying to shed the sticky, disgusting stares. I'll compliment her later. As you wish. Would be nice to have a romance with her. I'm sure the main character is attracted to her as well, if she's canonically just that hot. Ah, okay, so I can open my map from there. I'm gonna save the game here, and I will start further adventuring in the next episode. Thank you guys, see you later.